brimé par mes peurs. Je guette depuis des heures, je pense pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais, pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais. Sous le ciel de Paris, je cherche encore ton nom. Brimé par mes peurs, je guette depuis des heures, je pense pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais, pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais. Seras-tu cette leçon? Laisseras-tu au cœur de décombres réparer les fissures d'une âme qui ne veut plus vivre de même drame? Si tu ne crois pas à l'infini, si tu ne crois plus au grand récit, je t'en prie, fais-moi confiance. Je t'offrirai peu d'insouciance. Sous le ciel de Paris, je cherche encore ton nom. Brimé par mes peurs, je guette depuis des heures. Je pense pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais. Pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais. Sous le ciel de Paris, je cherche encore ton nom. Brimé par mes peurs, je guette depuis des heures. Je pense pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais. Pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais. Sous le ciel de Paris, je cherche encore ton nom. Brimé par mes peurs, je guette depuis des heures. Je pense pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais. Pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais. Sous le ciel de Paris, je cherche encore ton nom. Brimé par mes peurs, je guette depuis des heures. Je pense pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais. Pas si loin de toi, je suis pas si loin de toi, tu sais.
Hi, I'm Daniel Boy for the front row. Now, who would have known that something as basic as a pair of men's Bermudas could be so fashionable, could be so stylish, and so versatile? Well, with Holtan Vibes, they have shown us the way, and we're really, really pleased to have with us the creator of Holtan Vibes with us at the front row. Welcome, Natalie.
Hi, Daniel. Hi, thank you for having us.
Welcome to the front row. Now, I'm wearing Holton Vibes today, and before we delve into the brand, let me just show you this amazing print. Let's take a closer look at it. Look at this. I love what you've done. And we had a little chat at the shoot, and you were telling me about how this print was developed. But before that, tell me, what is Holton Vibes, and why men's Bermudas?
So, I think it all started a couple years ago when I came back and worked at the Singapore office for the firm I was working with. And I was
Mhm.
looking for batik to kind of infiltrate into my own like personal fashion wardrobe. And I was finding it really difficult to find wax batik, just because I think we use batik in a very catch-all kind of word to include the prints as well as the wax process. So I wanted to create something using the authentic wax process with the craftsmen, and I guess put it in a concept that we're not very used to seeing batik in. So we usually see it in women's garments, we see it in batik men's shirts. but we've never kind of seen them in men's shorts. So I guess that's where it came about.
Tell us about the process of creating these unusual prints because I believe every single Holton Vibes print is an exclusive print that you've developed for the brand.
So there are two ways to create batik. There's using the chanting, which is basically like a kind of gentleman's pipe sort of style, and you use the wax and you free flow the wax to create the design. But we use batik chap, which is a stamp process. So you have your design and you create these beautifully ornate copper intricate stamps where you plunge it into wax, you place it onto the fabric and creates these patterns which you dye, and then you boil the wax off and you use the wax again and it creates these wax resist designs. So I guess that's batik in a nutshell.
That is so much work. I don't think a lot of people realize the amount of work that goes into the creation of prints. Now, why exactly men's Bermudas, tailored Bermudas, may I add, and they're really comfortable, but why concentrate on this particular piece of menswear?
I think I think it's probably a very useful piece of clothing in Singapore with summer all around here, and it's something you can wear 365 days a year in Singapore. So we I think that's why we went for that, and also so that no one could tell us, oh, that's not really what batik is meant to look like. So it was just so far out of their imagination that we didn't face as much resistance that way.
And I don't think people realize how versatile your pieces are as well because I own several pieces of Holton Vibes and I've worn them either dressed down, I've worn them like this with a blazer because, as you rightly pointed out, our weather isn't exactly temperate. So I can wear a jacket or blazer with your berms and look completely dressed up and tropical and weather appropriate. So I love the fact it is so versatile and thanks for giving us something to wear. Tell us about this collection, this particular collection that we've just seen. What was the inspiration behind the prints of this collection?
I think firstly, I really wanted to bring color in for men's shorts. I think that men are starting to really warm up to the idea of color, which is out of the ordinary because back then in history, men used to be the most well dressed. When you go to the museums and these beautiful portraits of noble men in the embellished clothing. And we've lost a little bit of that. It came back in the 60s, but right now men are not very familiar with using color, except maybe like swim shorts. So I think when it's allowed to have fun, they'll pop in a bit of color. So I really wanted to let men express their feelings and their mood through color. And I guess secondly, in terms of like the patterns, I was like really playing with duality in terms of because I came from a corporate background and I dived into this creative field. And here in Singapore, we really tend to streamline people into
Yeah.
your corporate, your creative. So we're playing against that. And also a woman designing for a man. Often it really is the man designing for a woman. So and then going on to that, we're doing this modern new shorts. So I wanted to use old traditional motifs with kind of really deep philosophical stories and meanings behind them. So I guess that's where we created the patterns from. And so the ones you're wearing right now, they're called kawung.
Mhm.
And the reason behind the shape is because when you split a palm fruit in half, you get
Right.
these cross sections, which is what the four cross section. And the shape represents usefulness in society because the palm tree is very useful in terms of its fruit, for eating, for nutrition, its leaves for roofs, its trunk can be used for bridges. So there's a lot of meaning in each of the motifs that we use.
You know, I'm looking at my shorts now with with a new respect for the design philosophy behind it.
And
You're
you're
so
really,
right about.
you're putting them to, yeah, you're being very useful in society. So you're a testament to the shorts.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Going back to color, not many people have color in their lives. So thank you for giving us that choice. Color was something that really perked me up during the lockdown. And during the lockdown, when you're at home and you're working from home, this is another great piece that you can wear when you're working from home because you're comfortable, you're cool. And then when you need to do that Zoom call, you can just go close up. But at the same time, it's shorts that you can show on your Zoom call as well because they're professional enough, right? Now, Natalie, you talked about that duality of corporate and creative. How did you balance that? How did you balance that creativity and push it, and yet integrate such a successful business model into a fairly young brand?
I think really, I think I did find difficulty in balancing the two. So I did leave my corporate role to start this and kind of like risk it all because I thought, you know what, I'm young and I have no kind of nothing drawing me back. So I took that risk and I went into this creative field. But what really helped was because kind of we're now so advanced in society where online and e-commerce is totally it's revolutionized the way we do things, and it allowed me to set up my online store, set up that channel, and just reach to my customers that way. So that really helped. And I think we couldn't afford to have our own shop. The rent is crazy here in any urban city. So I think it's really kind of democratized our fashion industry because you're really allowing these new players, like myself, like a lot of people out there, and coming into this industry where we all have a website. Whether you're a veteran in the fashion industry, we have the same platform. My Instagram post can be right next to someone else from this haute couture, line. So I think that's really beautiful in the way we see fashion now. We're all on the same plane. So
Mhm. Well, I also think that having the foresight to build a presence online, not just an online store but social media, has really helped a lot of brands tide through this entire lockdown COVID process, COVID period. Because obviously brick and mortar stores cannot exist during the lockdown. How did your brand do during during these past few months?
yeah, I think it was really quite tough at the beginning because I guess everyone was kind of in a shock, and that you're not really going places, and you're not really needing clothes and things like that. But I think actually people started to talk and reconnect with a lot of to each other, to past friendships that they couldn't really find the time to do before COVID. So there was a lot of word of mouth going on. So that really helped, and I guess being able to have that like communication line through our social media, we were able to really chat with our customers if they had queries. And I guess that kind of, yeah, the direct communication really helped us along. But yeah.
And that's why I really think brands like Holden Vibes and a lot of other brands that are here at the front row, all of you are really paving the way for the future of how fashion retail is going to be done. And we have a lot of different brands on the front row, from ready to wear to bespoke to made to measure to luxe, and all these brands, including yourself, have managed to pivot or have managed to take advantage of that online digital presence and make a success of it. So I do think all of you are really the future of fashion. Now let's talk about sustainability. And I know that your brand also adopts a seasonless model. Did you start off doing that, or was it something that was your mantra from the very beginning?
I think so. When I first started, because I really didn't have a fashion background, I was so naive. It took a lot of effort for me to go and find these craftsmen find these, garment workshops. When you're totally new, it was really very difficult. And I think it was about a year plus in the process. And everyone was like, when are you going to launch? And I was like, and they were like, oh, maybe you should launch for Christmas because, it's buzziest during Christmas. And I think I just felt really pressured. And I was talking to someone who, I mean, is a musical artist, very successful one. And he was like, it doesn't matter when you launch, so long as you're ready. And I was like, like in the music industry, the artists don't launch until they're happy with their album. And fashion, in its own right is an art form. So why are we rushing to a timetable that's, dictated by somebody else? So I think that with Holtan Vibes, we're definitely going on as we're ready, as we create something meaningful and thoughtful, and then come to you, come to the people with that.
Well, you know what? Wise words indeed. And you did launch when you're ready because you have a beautiful product. And there's nothing wrong with the seasonless model because even big brands like Gucci are doing it now. So I do think seasonless is going to be the brand of the future. It's going to be the retail model of the future. For all of you out there, if you want to check out the Holden Vibes collection, their link is right here at the front row. So just click on it to see the entire collection and you can shop immediately. At the same time, if you haven't followed us on our social media platform, our Instagram handle is thefrontrow.style. So do follow us and tell your friends about us as well. We've got lots of designers here on the site, designers that have already shown. We've got lots more designers to show in the next 6 days. So do tell your friends about this and watch all our shows and our podcast. And if you post anything front row related on the website, do hashtag the front row SG so that we can find the post and we can like the post. Well, this has been Daniel Boy for the front row. Thank you for joining us. See you again at the next show. Bye bye.